My phone was dead. I know that detail matters now. It was 11:48 p.m. I remember because I'd been watching the clock, waiting for my roommate Marco to text me back. He'd been driving back from his parents' place. 4 hours, mountain roads. And he always checked in when he hit the highway. Nothing came. So I did what I always do when I'm restless. I walked to the kitchen, poured water I didn't need, and stood at the counter in the dark. That's when I saw it. A figure walked past my window. My apartment is on the 3rd floor, and the figure was wearing my jacket. I need you to understand the layout before I explain what happened next. My building is shaped like a U. My unit faces inward, toward the courtyard. The only thing outside my kitchen window is a brick wall and a narrow path 3 stories below that connects the parking lot to the back gate. Nobody uses it at night. There's no lighting down there. The building manager put up a no-through access sign 2 years ago after something happened. I never found out what. The figure I saw wasn't blurry. It wasn't a shadow cast by a passing car. It was distinct, upright, walking at a normal pace, moving left to right, wearing a dark green parka with a broken zipper pull that swings when you move. I bought that jacket at a thrift store in 2019. I've repaired it twice. It has a patch on the left shoulder from where I caught it on a chain link fence. I was wearing it. I checked. I looked down at my own body. Green parka. Broken zipper pull. Then I looked back up. The figure had stopped walking. It was looking up. At me. I'm not someone who panics. I want to be clear about that because what I did next probably sounds unhinged, but in the moment, it felt completely logical. I grabbed my phone, still dead, and went to the bathroom for my backup charger. 30 seconds, maybe 40. When I got back to the window, the figure was gone. Okay, fine. I'd imagined it. Sleep deprivation does things. I've been averaging 4 hours a night for 2 weeks. The mind fills in faces, patterns, familiar shapes. There's a name for it. Pareidolia. But it applies to sounds too, and to movement. I was probably seeing a trash bag, a piece of furniture someone had left in the courtyard. My brain wrapped it in a jacket I recognized. I plugged in my phone. It turned on. One missed call from Marco, 11:31 p.m., and one text sent at 11:49 p.m. 1 minute after I'd been standing at the window. The text said, "Just pulled up. Coming in the back way. Weird. Lights are on in your kitchen, but you're not picking up. You good? The back way. The narrow path. At 11:49 p.m. I called Marco immediately. He picked up on the first ring. He was in the parking lot. He'd just come through the back gate. "Did you walk past my kitchen window?" I asked. He said yes. He said he always does. I said, "Were you wearing my jacket?" Silence. Marcus. "I borrowed it last weekend when I left mine at work. I was going to tell you. It's been in my car. I put it on because it was cold." My jacket. In his car. I had been wearing a different jacket all evening, a black hoodie I'd grabbed off the hook without thinking. I looked down at myself. Black hoodie. I hadn't been wearing the green parka. I'd thought I was wearing it the half second I looked down. My brain had dressed me in the jacket I always reach for. It had confirmed what it expected to see, so that was explained. Almost everything was explained, except when I described where I'd seen the figure, the exact position, the exact moment it stopped and looked up. Marco got very quiet. He said, "That's not where I was at 11:48. He pulled up his location history. At 11:48 p.m., Marco's phone had him at a gas station 4 miles away. He'd stopped for fuel. He didn't reach the building until 11:51. We both stood in my kitchen. Neither of us spoke for about 30 seconds. Then Marco said, "Show me the window." He stood where I'd been standing. He looked down at the path. "How long do you think it stood there?" he asked. I don't know. Maybe 20 seconds before I went to get my phone. He nodded slowly. When you came back, was the gate closed? I hadn't thought about the gate. The back gate is one of those heavy fire doors with a slow pneumatic arm. It takes about 8 seconds to close once you let it go. If someone had come through right when I'd stepped away, it would have been shut by the time I got back. Marco went to check. He came back 2 minutes later. His face was different. Gate's propped open, he said, with a brick. Nobody props that gate. There's no reason to. The path leads nowhere except to the back door of the building, which requires a key fob. He paused, and there are wet footprints on the stairs. We're on the 3rd floor. The prints went up. They didn't come back down. We called the building manager. We called the non-emergency police line. 2 officers did a sweep. They found nothing on any floor except the wet prints, which had dried to smears by the time they reached our landing. The explanation they offered, the only one, was that someone had come in through the propped gate and taken the elevator, and the prints were from someone who lived there. Normal night. Coincidental timing. I didn't tell them about the jacket. I didn't tell them about the figure looking up, because I know what I saw, and I know what it was wearing, and I know that when I looked down at my own body that night, really looked, for more than half a second, I was certain, absolutely certain, that I was wearing it too. I've been thinking about that a lot, about what it means that something was out there, in my jacket, looking exactly like me, and whether it went back to wherever it came from, or whether it found a way in. Marco moved out 3 weeks later. He said it was about rent. He hasn't answered my last 4 texts. My green parka is still on the hook by the door. I haven't touched it since.